Remember, then, there is only one time that is important. Now. It is the most important time because it is the only time when we have any power. Leo Tolstoy. Welcome to the Purple Positivity Podcast for October the 1st, 2018. Holy crap, it's already October. I am your host, the amazingly adorable Rebecca Thistle, podcasting to you live-ish from my new used desk in my apartment, which I call Jeffrey Thistlework. Yas. Oh, man. I know I'm not the only person that says yas, but it just always sounds weird coming out of my mouth, so I keep doing it. Since it's the beginning of the month, I thought this would be a good time to talk about living in the moment. And I was actually, I guess I was at work on Thursday. I was listening to this. I am I don't want to say huge, but a pretty big fan of Christopher Titus. I never really got the chance to watch his sitcom, but it's on my to-do list, so fear not. But I've been listening to his stand-up specials a lot lately, and I think overall my favorite is Angry Pursuit of Happiness. And the reason that it is my favorite is because I feel, funnily enough, I feel like it's this is weird to say about Christopher Titus. If you've ever heard his comedy, you know what I mean. But I feel like it's the most positive of all of his comedies. I feel like all his comedy specials end on a positive note to begin with. But this one I feel like has a lot of philosophical weight to it, and it's because of what I'm about to talk about now, and this is like a huge, ridiculous introduction to it. So in this special, I'm going to link to it in the description of this show, so definitely go listen to him do this properly. I am clumsily and unprofessionally summarizing it because this is not a professional podcast. I am not an audio editing wizard. Otherwise, I would just have the audio loaded and play it for you, which would probably be illegal, but at least I'd know how to do it. But I'm going to link to the video that I found on YouTube in the description. But I highly, oh my gosh, I cannot recommend more highly listening to this comedy album or watching the special if you ever get the chance, because it's just fucking amazing. Anyways, he's talking at one point about how, humans are always obsessed with the future. And I mean, that's part of why our species has survived and evolved, and, we're the apex predator on the face of the planet, for better, for worse. You can have whatever opinion you want about that. But interestingly enough, that anxiety holds us back a lot. You know, he talks about his, you can put chicken in front of his dogs, and their reaction is, chicken! There's chicken, there's always been chicken, it was chicken is the greatest, chicken. And you take that away, you put a ball in front of them, oh! Their whole life just happens right in front of their face. Everything that's in, they live in the moment. Us, on the other hand, put chicken in front of us to go, chicken. Man, I hope they cook that right. And he goes on this like crazy tangent. Oh man, I hope they cook that right. You know, because I don't want to get salmonella. And I mean, if I do get salmonella, am I going to be able to drive myself to the hospital? Or does my insurance even cover an ambulance ride? And oh my God, this is such a mess. And my kids and you start worrying about everything in the world. One thing leads to another, and finally the people at the table with you that you're having dinner with go, dude, are you gonna eat your chicken? Oh, I forgot I had chicken. We get so worried about the future, we forget to appreciate what the fuck is in front of us. And I am so guilty of this. And later on in the special, Titus says, next time you notice something going well, just take a moment and go, chicken! Trust me, people will not understand it. We had, I work for a nonprofit organization, and so whenever we have good sales, they buy us lunch one day a week or one day a month. This month it was fried chicken was what we had. And so when it was time to go to lunch, like I got up and I went, chicken! Nobody understood it. No, nobody got it. They thought I was just excited about the chicken. I wasn't. I mean, it was good chicken, don't get me wrong. But that wasn't the reason I got it. It was, I wanted to take a moment and just be present and just be grateful that I work for this company that buys me lunch, that I'm going to spend this lunch time with my coworkers / friends / adopted family. I have one coworker in particular, I call her my Mexican mommy, because she's like a mommy to me. We're just attached to each other like that. It's really sweet and it's really wonderful, and I adore her. And actually, I mentioned this on the last show, one of my coworkers, I call Mother Bat. And the funny story behind that is there's this lady that lives in the same apartment complex as me and my coworker. My coworker and I, Mother Bat and I, we live in the same complex. And there's this other lady who rides the special paratransit. We call it the handy van. She rides it with us anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. And one day, I ran into her walking around the complex, and she started talking to me. Now, I can't understand what this woman says half the time to begin with. But in the course of this conversation, she starts going off about, I have no idea what. But she says, I was talking to your mom the other day, and blah, 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 blah. And she was talking so fast, I was just like, I gotta get away from this woman. But once I finally extrapolated myself from this conversation, and I was walking back to my apartment, I went, I think she thinks that my coworker is my mother. So I told my coworker later, she's like, yeah, so you better eat your vegetables. And she really started mothering me. Now the bat part of it comes from another incident that happened at work. Is we assemble pens and lanyards and ID reels, and so day to day, usually you're going to be doing the same thing for the entire day, but sometimes depending on orders and need and stuff like that, my supervisor will switch us over in the middle of the day. So we had come back from lunch, and my supervisor says, hey, to this coworker, my mother, she says, I'm going to change you. And me being the dork that I am, I said, what are you changing her into? A bat? My coworker goes, shut up. So my supervisor sets up this coworker with all her stuff, sets up Mother Bat with her new, project. And then I turn around to start doing what I was doing, and my supervisor goes, no, I'm changing you too. And I went, oh. And I turned around to make the joke to Mother Bat, and Mother Bat turns around at that exact same moment. And so as I'm saying to her, hey, guess what? I'm a bat too. She goes, hey, guess what, Becca? You're a bat. So she's now officially Mother Bat, and I am Baby Bat. Which is really fun now that it's October and we're going, ooh, we're going to go get bat wings. Yeah, break. To the break room. To the bat break room. Da-da-da-da! So we have fun, but it's like I wanna going back to the living in the moment thing. That was kind of living in the past, but when we had our production lunch, and I just screamed chicken because I wanted to remind myself to be appreciative of that moment. My son is currently living with my parents, and I get to see him for 2 hours every other Saturday. And I have to say to myself at least once during those visitations, chicken. Because I don't want to sit here and wallow in the pity of how I got into this situation where I only get to see my son 4 hours a month. I don't want to worry about how I'm going to get out of this situation so that I can have my son back full time. I just want to be grateful for that moment. And so I say to myself, chicken. And my son doesn't understand it at all. He thinks that I'm saying that I'm hungry and I want chicken for lunch or something. But truth is I'm just reminding myself to be present in the moment. And it's difficult to do. I was just on the phone with all caps someone a little while ago, and he's got a lot of stuff going on, and he's got some big fucking decisions to make in his life right now. And he's getting really anxious about it. And I don't blame him. I'm anxious for him. Because it's huge, the shit he's going through. And I think he's forgetting to appreciate what's in front of him. And that's another reason why I end each show with the things for which I am grateful. I'm going to annoy myself to death with that, but it will take a while. Everybody else is going to get annoyed. I'm going to keep doing it. But I end every show with 3 things for which I am grateful as a way of grounding myself back into the moment. Because I do share stories from my past on this show. I talk about the things that I worry about for the future on this show. And I want to center myself back into this moment and the things that are good in my life right now. Because I've got a lot of shit going on. Some of which I talk about on this show, some of which I'm not ready to talk about.